Welcome, everybody. As I look around the auditorium, I am totally convinced that human beings are people of habit, because you guys are sitting in the same tables as last week. And mostly with the same people as you sat with last week. I'm going to start with just a very short summary of what we spoke about last week, just to reignite our memory a little bit, and then we're going to go into some strategies on how do we then improve in the areas that we might see that we are not as strong as the others. We did the test, and for those who haven't done the test, I would encourage you to still do the test, and so that you can also know where you have areas that you can grow in. And so we see EQ comprised of personal competence, which is your self-awareness and self-management, and then social competence is your social awareness, relationship management, and empathy is really the glue that puts everything together, and that actually grows. EQ in general is having empathy. So working on relationships takes time, effort, and know-how, and it is the know-how which is then the EQ. You use your self-awareness skills to notice your own feelings, and you can identify why you are feeling the way you are feeling. You are also very aware of your buttons. What is it? What person or what situation pushes your button? You are confident in your own skin, you strive to better your relationships, and you would rather grow in your own emotional intelligence rather than damage a relationship. When it comes to self-management skills, you know how to express your feelings in the right way to benefit all the connections around you. You are able to recognize your own emotions, and you can regulate it effectively. You can choose what is the right response in the right situation. And you know, it becomes very natural as you grow in your EQ. It's not that you have to think about it all the time. As you grow in your EQ, these reactions just become very natural. You use your social awareness skills to better your understanding of other people's feelings, other people's emotions, and you can achieve this when your empathy is high, because you can put yourself in their shoes. You have compassion for other people, and you are happy to actually change your way of communication to rather build up that relationship and connection rather than win the point. All right. And then the last one is, because you are half of any relationship, you are half of any connection, it is up to you to have the responsibility to then deepen those connections with other people. There are 12 traits that often are shared by people with a high EQ, and I'm not going to go through all of them because we've dealt with all of them, but maybe just touch on the ones that we haven't really dealt with. So the first one is self-awareness. We've done that. Self-regulation, being able to control your emotions. Motivation. People with a high EQ are driven to achieve their goals in line with their values. For personal reasons, not to win a prize, not to be recognized, but they are driven by their own convictions. Empathy, spoken about that. Social skills, strong interpersonal skills. They can communicate effectively to better relationships. Adaptability, we are flexible and we can easily adapt to changing circumstances and challenging circumstances. Conflict resolution, you manage conflict to the better of relationships. Active listening, we spoke about that a lot. You have a positive outlook. You maintain an optimistic perspective, and it helps you to cope with challenges. Emotional expressions, I'm able to express my own emotions. In a difficult situation, I'm able to say, man, I feel very frustrated right now. We've spoken about this so many times, and yet it's still not done. Can somebody maybe take that upon themselves and get it done? In that manner, nobody thinks, oh, what a rude person, always just giving these, demands and commands and whatever. But I've expressed my feelings, and you understand now why I'm frustrated. Okay, so you're able to express your own feelings before continuing in a conversation. Trustworthiness, building trust through honest and integrity and with your interactions. And then self-confidence, a healthy self-esteem, believing in your abilities without being that person that thinks too much of themselves. Okay, we all knew that person in school, that guy that always put up his hand and the teacher was just like always, thinking he's the greatest. All right. We don't want to be that person, but we want to be very comfortable in our skins and be very self-confident. Okay, so we're now going to go to our self-awareness strategies. So the ability to recognize when your emotions no longer are natural, they are now damaging your relationships with others, and actually it's taking over your life. So what do we do? Number one, we observe the ripple effect from our emotions. You see, we in a rushed society. We have a bad conversation with somebody, and then we walk away and we knew, man, that was so bad. We knew we said something wrong, but we're not prepared to consider it. We're not prepared to go there to find out, but why did I respond like that? Why did I, why was it okay to damage this relationship? And as much as you like to debate with yourself that it was okay and you can move on to the next relationship and the next one, you have formed a little crack in that relationship because of your lack of emotional intelligence. There's a crack there. And the next time, the crack deepens. And the next time, the crack deepens. And so unless we're going to take time to reflect on our behavior and say, that was not okay. Why did I respond in that manner? It's never going to get better. You will go from this to that relationship and damage damage good relationships. So the more you understand how your own emotions ripple outwards, the better equipped you'll be to choose the right ripple that you would like to create. So what does this mean? It means that you've got to lean into your discomfort. Nobody wants to find that maybe I have a character flaw. Nobody wants to find that maybe that was out of pride. Nobody wants to go and find out maybe there's something from my past that's actually a button in my life now that makes me react the way that I do. It's hard. It's painful. We have to be honest with ourselves. Are we prepared to go there? All right, so we need to lean into our discomfort and actually take the time to ask the hard questions. We need to also know who and what pushes our buttons so that it doesn't catch us off guard every time it happens, but it also is then for you to go into that and to change it, to deal with it. We need to watch ourselves like hawks in the moment. With other words, you are in this conversation, you know where this conversation is going to go, and you are in your mind, you are saying to yourself, okay, just take a break here. What's happening? Where's this going? And how do I want to respond logically and not emotionally? Let your brain process while you're in the conversation. Don't be fooled by a good mood and a bad mood. Don't make important decisions when you're in a bad mood, and don't go shopping when you're in a good mood. And sometimes when these moods just don't go away, maybe it's time to pray, number one, or maybe it's time to go and see a doctor. You will not know what bad hormones can do to you. All right, and maybe you just need a little bit of hormone injections, to make you feel all better again. Really, I'm serious. When your moods don't stop, start investigating. All right? Then visit your values. This is so important. When your emotional reactions are contrary to your values, you need to bring alignment. That unforgiveness, that not liking somebody, but yet the Bible says we are to love one another. And ignoring somebody is not the solution. All right? So I'll just stay out of his way. So I don't like him and I'm not prepared to go there. So I'll just stay out of his way. That's not a solution. And then get to know yourself when under stress. There's nothing that pushes buttons like stress. Nothing. And so remember or know how you react in stressful situations and say to yourself, how can I avert in finding myself in these situations? Can I maybe do more planning or prepare for meetings better, etc.? All right. So I want to do an exercise with you, and I've given you papers and pens, and I want us to do a self-reflection, because I think when it comes to self-awareness, I think it's really for you to intro a little bit. We're not going to ask you to share any of this. It's really for you to reevaluate where you are at. And I'll put the 2 questions on the overhead. But before you go there, and I want to specifically speak to our gentlemen here in the room. Before you think by yourself, but I'm not an emotional human being, it's up to the women that are so emotional, and they need to answer these questions. I want to tell you now, we are all emotional beings, and whatever comes our way, remember our brain situation, all these little, things that come through, and it hits our brain, and it goes through first the emotional part of our brain before it hits the logical side of our brains. And so all the things that we do will first become an emotional reaction. I want to give you a little example. You are in a meeting with your team. All right? And it's a feedback meeting on Sunday. And there's some of your volunteer leaders are in the meeting, staff. You are the team leader. And suddenly all attention is on you. Because as the team leader, something went wrong on Sunday. Something that could have been averted, could have been, if preparation happened better, it wouldn't have happened. Okay, and so attention is on you. You're on the spot immediately. What is it going to be, flight or fight? So you look around and you check out, and there's Danny. Well, it's Danny's fault. I told him on Friday to call so-and-so. Or you say, no, but it's fine. Nothing really seriously went wrong. We all sorted it out. It's fine. Or you take responsibility. You apologize and you say, we are going to work together as a team. We're going to get it right. But whatever decision you make in that moment is going to be an emotional one. So I want you to go and answer these 2 questions. Write down an experience where your emotions influenced your decision making. And 2, how do you reflect on your emotional response in conflict or stressful situations? I'll give you 3-4 minutes. I would really encourage you to continue to just take time, especially after a hard conversation. Go and sit down on a nice bench overlooking a sunset and ask yourself the question, what could I have done better? And why did I react the way I did? And grow in that way, grow yourself awareness of these are the things that get me and how can I improve it. So let's look at our self-management strategies now. This is the next step. So you can choose positively and productively how to react in different situations, and your emotions no longer control your reactions. Now, I do want to make one statement, and that is, People who react emotionally are not in charge, okay? They're not in control because in itself, they've lost control. All right, even if they're the ones screaming the loudest, they're still not in control or taking the lead. All right, so, and even just one word, one sarcastic remark, one little sentence is enough to cause that crack, to break that trust. All right. So what can I do in the heat of the moment to choose the right reaction? Number one, stop the urge to react immediately. Who says you must react immediately? Who says you must lash out? You don't have to lash out. Take a breath. Count till 10. Tell the group, listen, can I just quickly be excused? I want to go to the bathroom. Or I want to go get myself a cup of, a glass of water. And while you're doing this pause, let's call it a pause, quickly reassess where you are at. I feel so angry. I'm so frustrated. I'm so sad. And then remember, got an emotional and a logical reaction. Let your brain choose the logical one. Consider, what do I want this outcome to be? All right? Am I going to go back in there and I'm going to fight like a bull and I don't care about any relationships? Or am I actually understanding that the relationships in this group is so important to me that I am going to take the logical response and I'm going to calm everybody down, or I'm going to calm myself down and choose the right reaction. If you don't have to, and pray. Pray if you have to. I do it a lot. Pray, God, help me, help me, help me. Help me to have the right emotional response. If you're not in a situation where you immediately have to respond, like in a team meeting, then go to somebody that you know are high on EQ, somebody that's not emotionally involved in the situation, somebody that you can trust, and say, listen, this is the situation. What would you have done? How would you have responded? Learn. We have to be teachable. That's the big thing. We have to be teachable. And then have a little mental recharge. I know there are people, and I've been in meetings where people say, I have a clicker in my pocket. When I know I'm going to go into difficult situations, they'll just click this thing, and it's always like, okay, I've got to respond differently, but have something. Ask yourself, what could be a good question I can ask myself that would bring me back to my logical side? Get me out of my emotional, situation that I'm in. All right. So we're going to do a nice role play exercise right now. And the exercise is all about how to react in situations. So I want you to choose somebody out of your table, just one person, and send them bravely to the front. Who's coming out from there? Okay. So give us just 2 minutes while I just run this through with my team, and then we'll continue. All right. Our actors are ready. And what we want to observe is we want to observe high EQ, low EQ. We want to observe different personality styles like a high D or a high I, an S, a C, and then, they are in the process of brainstorming Gallagher Estate the end of the year. All right, so that's the scenario, and let's see if we can identify some of these personalities coming through, who can grow in their EQ or who's really good at EQ. All right.
Good morning, team. Welcome to the meeting. Thank you for taking the time to be here. Today, we're going to discuss and brainstorm a little bit about Gallagher. The event is coming up very soon. So I'd like to hear from each of you what your thoughts are on which way we're going to go. I know a choice was thrown out there of bringing in a live elephant for our Gallagher event. So I'd like to just hear from each of you your thoughts and takes on how we can maybe pull this off. Josh, would you like to start?
Okay, so we're bringing in 3 elephants
Okay, 3 elephants now. Okay.
into a room full of 10,000 people,
Yes, that's right.
and they each cost 30,000 rand.
Yeah.
30. All right, have we got a budget together?
Yeah, no, I think we need to go first, speak to Gerard about the budget to make sure that we don't go over.
Well, I heard from Gerard that they each cost 30,000 rand.
So I
Guys,
think
Elephants that will poop.
But think about it. We can have clowns that can ride the elephants.
A clown that can ride an elephant.
It's entertaining.
All right.
And we're not paying the clowns. We're just paying for the elephants.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Anthony. Let's get back to the point. We've got 3 elephants that are gonna poop in the building, and they cost 30,000 rand.
Okay, look. Think about it like this now.
And we have to pick up the poop, because if we don't, then it's another
We can have
5,000 rand.
wheelbarrows and spades for the poop.
Okay, but I think we're getting off topic here. We
Well,
actually
he's getting off.
talking
He's speaking about clowns.
We're talking about 1 elephant. Steve, have you arranged where we're collecting the elephant from already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where are we collecting it from?
By what do you call it? By macro.
By macro.
Yeah.
Macro.
You see what I'm saying?
Have we got the approval for the elephant yet? Aaron, have we organized the approval yet for the elephant?
no, we have not, but we just need to think about this a little bit.
Right, what are your
Because you
thoughts?
see, we have 10,000 people in the room, and we did get some feedback that 10 of the pastors that are coming are very scared of elephants.
Look, they
Well,
can
I
you
personally
must
don't
just
like elephants.
imagine if there's 10,000 people in the room, if they're scared and they start running, the elephant might get a fright and like trample over the people.
But okay, listen. If the pastors are important, they can sit in the 3rd row. Like, like
No, but that
they
beast is
won't
huge,
be.
my
They
guy.
won't be. They won't be trampled. They won't be trampled. Like maybe the front. Okay, but that's beside the pastors can sit in the 3rd or the 4th row.
I love your enthusiasm and your ideas, but I think let's first make sure we have the budget for the elephant, and then we can move forward with how we're rolling with the elephant.
I'm asking, does it have to be elephants that poop for 30,000 rand each? And if we do not collect the poop, in the contract it says, well, I'm told by Gerard, that if we do not pick up the poop, then it's another additional 5,000 rand
right,
for
Josh.
each poop.
Josh,
each elephant.
let's not focus on that right now. Steve, we were just catching up with you quickly. How are we in process of all our volunteers coming in? Have we organized, sent out messages, communication to our teams yet?
Yeah, everything's done. Everything's done.
Okay. Have you got the lists and the sheets of all the names of the team leaders and who will be assisting in which area? Have we
Okay, by
put the-
3 days, I'll be having everything.
So it's just 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days.
Okay. Can I, by the end of today, have the list and the report, please?
I'll try.
You'll try.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I think we're ignoring the fact that there will be 3 elephants in Gallagher that are 30,000 rand each, and they're going to be pooping.
Yes, so I think just taking with your concern here.
And I don't like elephants.
Guys, I'm just saying.
So
we
let's
had
just
time.
maybe confirm the
Yes,
finances.
let's confirm the finances
Because
first.
it's not confirmed yet, so we can't jump the boat.
Well, team, I'm saying let's not talk about finances. Let's just get rid of the elephants.
Okay, maybe baby elephants.
All right.
It'll be cheaper.
Can we get back to the lists of the teams? Because that's actually more important right now, just to ensure that we actually are able to.
Here for elephants. 3 elephants. Okay. All right. Let me calm down.
Let's go back to
Let me
what
calm
we were
down.
just discussing
Okay.
about our volunteers. So, Steve, by the end of today, can we make sure communication is going out, get the list together? Aaron, for logistics, have you spoken to Sunette from Gallagher already?
Yes, so she did say that there might be a small logistical issue in terms of getting
With the elephants?
Yes, with getting the elephants on the stage. You know, because the elephants, they might
They
not
are quite
fit, they're
large
quite heavy, they
creatures,
might
yes.
break the stage.
Okay.
So I don't think logistically we're going to be able to get the elephants at all. And I did speak to Gerard and he just confirmed that it's a no for the elephants as
Is
well.
it a no?
Oh, is it a no?
Yes, it's a no
Okay.
to elephants.
Okay.
But the weather's gonna be bad. Like, The elephants are gonna be outside in the rain. Like, not thinking about that.
That'll be okay. That'll be okay.
Yeah,
But it's God's creation.
We'll
like,
pray for the elephants, all right? We'll pray for them.
But what about the clowns? Like, what about the clowns?
I think
Clowns or the clowns?
we'll come back to you on that. I love your enthusiasm and your suggestion. We'll take it under consideration and we'll come back to you if we're going to be having clowns.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, team. All right. So we thank our actors. I think the scenario was kind of over the top. Could you recognize some high EQs and some low EQs there? Some disruptors, some people not talking very much unless prompted, and others being able to really manage the situation well. But that is typical in a hard meeting, isn't it? Where some hard stuff is needing to be discussed and got to make some hard decisions. And that's where we see the different things coming out, the emotions going wild. And that's where your EQ is so valuable. If you're able to manage your own emotions, bring peace and quiet, and get the whole situation under control. All right. So now we're going on to social awareness strategies. Why is it important to be socially aware? Well, it's important because then you know how to give and take feedback. You can resolve conflicts properly, and you can build rapport. Because strong relationships are key to influence and collaborations. I want to say it again. Strong relationships are key to get collaboration and influence. If we understand that little fact, then everything is going to change in our minds, and we're going to say, I'm going to work towards good relationships. I want to understand people better. So how do we build this skill? It's a difficult one. How do we build the skill where we actually can assess what somebody else is feeling? We can understand their emotions. We can have empathy for them. It really is about observing people, being in the moment. Remember, I said that when we are so busy, I'm talking to somebody here, but I'm so busy thinking about other things. I'm busy thinking about Saturday. I'm busy thinking of what I need to accomplish, that although I'm hearing words, I'm not hearing a message. So I never learned the skill. If I'm not in the moment, I never learned the skill to really observe what people are saying to me. Then I never know that it can be so much more than just words. And I miss on the cues that people are giving me. And so it is about being in the moment. It's about being able to read body language, facial expressions, postures, tone of voice. And sometimes it's not a very loud tone of voice, but there's a change in the tone. And you immediately know this person has just gone from frustration to anger. But you can miss that, you see, because we don't know how to observe people. What is hidden behind the surface? Deeper emotions, deeper thoughts. We miss it if we're not cued with people, if we don't understand how to observe people. So we need to be present and able, give full attention to people. We need to utilize all our 5 senses. What am I hearing? What am I seeing? What am I smelling? What am I tasting? What am I feeling? What do I sense? My 6th sense. What am I sensing? When I walk into a meeting room and there's already 5 people sitting there, am I just oblivious? I'm just going to sit down and I start the meeting? Or am I able to assess what's happening in the meeting? There's stress here. Something happened. Something happened on Sunday. These guys they're so angry with one another. You see, if I'm not clued up on how to assess and how to observe, I'll miss that. I'll go into this meeting totally oblivious of the cues Whereas if I walk in and I know, man, these guys are really angry at one another, I already know, because my EQ is high, I already know how to calm the situation down. Just by how I introduce the meeting. Hey guys, listen, this is not going to be an easy meeting. I know things happened on Sunday, and I would really like to ask that we have forgiveness towards one another. Listen, we all have some fault in what happened, and that's okay. Let's see how we can move the process forward. Because I've assessed that they are really uptight. Or I can sit there and say, guys, really, what happened on Sunday? Really, guys, really? Was it necessary? And you just, now there's a bomb that went off in the room. Because instead of calming the situation, I've now, brought in more conflict into the situation. So really the strategy for social awareness is observing people. Go and sit at a restaurant and check out people. Jack and I do it all the time. We go out, we go for dinner, we chat our chat, and then we sit and watch people. It's like, that's a first date. Or those two don't even talk anymore. They're on their phones all the time. They're like in their 50s, been married 30 years, But that's how you observe people. That's how you see the clues, the cues. And then we would talk about it, please, let's not do this, let's never get to that place where we can't talk, or that kind of thing. And that, again, in itself builds our own skills and our own strategies for our own relationship. That's what happens. That's how we grow our self-awareness, is by, doing that. All right, so it's not lots of tips on that, but that really is what it is. So I'm going to ask Joyla now, and she's going to come and do a role play for us. It's going to be lots of fun, and so yes, let's have some fun together.
Okay, I love the way she said that I'm doing the role play. You're doing the role play, but this time, instead of you selecting, we have pre-selected 5 people to assist us. So this is a narration-led improvisation. So I'm the narrator, and I'm going to call up my 5 actors, and I'm going to introduce them to you shortly. Can I please ask Emmy to come to the front? For this, you don't need mics. You're just my actors. Can I please ask Joanne to come to the front? Can I please ask Gerard to join us? Can I please ask Berry to join us? And can I please ask LJ to join us? My lovely actors, please stand here. And as I introduce them to you, they are also going to find out themselves who they are. Emmy is a bloke called Frank. He is overly energetic, and he is totally socially unaware. Joanne is Jamie, and she is trying to work. She's got a lot of work, and she's trying to work really hard. Berry is Pat, and he is on a very important Zoom call. Riley is Gerard, and he is the passive-aggressive clue dropper in this instance. And then we've got Bob, who is RJ. And Bob is the calm, EQ-aware mentor who arrives a bit later in the scene. So Bob, will you kindly stand to my right? Alrighty. So Frank, you're going to enter the scene shortly, so may you walk to the stairs there. Jamie, you're going to be working really hard, so you can take a seat, and you're working really hard. Riley, you can just chill in the corner there. You're going to watch everything go down. You can pull up a chair as well. And then we have Pat. You're on an important Zoom call. So Pat, we can pull you right over here. And you can sit down. You're on a very important Zoom call. You're very busy. You're at it. Okay, so are my actors ready? You just follow your cues, There's no practicing. As I speak, you act, okay? You guys ready? Okay. It's a regular morning in the office. Jamie is typing furiously. Pat is deep into his Zoom call. He's deep in the Zoom call. Riley is scrolling through the socials, sipping his coffee. and then enters Frank with a loud good morning people, who wants to dance? And does his famous little silly wiggle dance in the office. Jamie, rolling her eyes, starts to type faster. Pat waves his hands in a panic. Riley sips his coffee even louder. Frank, still not reading the room, asks again, who's ready for some positive energy? And decides to add a clap and a stomp to his dance. Jamie gets a fright from the claps. Clearly startled. Frank, clearly startled. Sorry. By the clap, indicating to Frank that she's in her zone. Pat waves silently and points at his headsets to Frank, trying to indicate that he's on a very important Zoom call. But Frank sees this as an invitation to say hello to the peeps online. Leaning forward towards the webcam, saying, it's your boy, bringing the vibes. Riley side-eyes Frank and sips his coffee even louder. There we go. There we go. I've lost my space. Riley, witnessing everything, pauses with a comment along the lines of, I love chaos with my caffeine, indicating that he is talking about the office situation. Frank nods with a cool cowboy pew-pew towards Riley as if it was a compliment. Jamie is now pinching the bridge of her nose. Pat looks like he wants to crawl under the chair. Riley is air writing the word help. And then Bob walks in, calm, collected, and reading the room. Bob, smiling politely, glances over his glasses and does a quick check-in and asks in a very polite manner, what's happening here? And at that moment, everyone points at Frank. So Bob, a wise and EQ'd up person, asks Frank what kind of energy they think the room is giving. Frank pauses for the first time, and in deep thought he responds, focused and please leave me alone energy. Bob, very proud, like a father, very proud, gives Frank a high five and explains to Frank that that is exactly what the room is asking for. His final nugget of wisdom is that if 3 people look annoyed, pointing at all 3 people in the room, it is not a party, but it is a signal. Frank, deep in thought, seems to understand and have a aha moment, and slowly moonwalks his way back to his desk. And just like that, everybody, peace is restored to the office, and Frank is slightly more emotional intelligent. Thank you, everybody. Give our actors a round of applause.
That was awesome. All right, so that is emotional intelligence. It's growing in reading the room. All right, we need to know how to read the room. Our last one is relationship management. We are not islands, people. We are in this world, and every person sitting across from you, beside you, behind you, are people that we need to build relationship with. We work for the same organization. We have the same goals of moving the organization forward. We need to build relationships that would last, which means we trust one another. And that's a big one. So let's look at some strategies on building relationships. Be open and curious. That means that I'm also prepared to share a little bit about myself. All right? And it depends on how much you want to share, and that's up to you. But when I'm prepared to share a little bit about myself, I am entrusting myself to you, and you get to know me a little bit better. So next time we are in a meeting together, you will understand a little bit about why I am reacting the way I am, because you now know me a little bit. If I remain a closed book to you, why would you trust me? You don't know me at all. Do you see where I'm going with it? But then you also have to show interest and be curious about other people. If you suddenly put in a meeting room and you're waiting for the rest of the team, and you're sitting there with somebody you've never spoken to, because we have some of our friends here that we haven't really spent time with, suddenly you're in that room with somebody you've never spoken to before. Have some questions up your sleeve that you can ask. Tell me about yourself. I don't know you very well. Let's share some information here. You won't say that, but, that's in the back of your mind, But you hear what I'm saying is, as we know one another, we build trust with one another. Number 2, enhance your natural communication style. We all have our own communication style. Some of us, like Gerard, very funny guy, he can capture people with laughter, etc., etc. Then there are the direct people, the high Ds. We're good at confrontation. We have people that are very reserved in their conversations, discreet. We can be very chatty. That person that you can just leave, they'll just, keep everybody busy because they just talk all the time. You can be very curious, you can be very cool, collected, etc. But doesn't matter what our communication style is. We do need EQ in the mix. Because I can be very direct with another D personality, and it wouldn't matter at all, because, that person's going to be very directive back at me. We're not going to get offended. But I need to also know when not to be that directive. When am I speaking with a high S personality? Because they will take offense if I'm too direct with them. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I must be able, with EQ in the back of my mind, understanding with empathy another person's possible reaction. Must I change my normal way of communication? All right. Number 3, avoid giving mixed signals. In other words, I'm saying something, but my body language is saying something completely different. Or I'm saying something and my tone of voice is completely opposite to what I'm saying. We're giving mixed signals, and people are like, did I hear this person right? What was this thing that I just received from this person? Number 4, remember the little things that pack a punch, like saying please, thank you, I'm so sorry. You cannot believe what these kinds of words do. Just that, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Comes with a little bit of humility, but we can learn from Jesus there. Number 5, take feedback well. And I want to stand a little bit on feedback because I know feedback is this word we hate. We don't like feedback because it immediately puts us on the spot. But if we understand what feedback is really supposed to be, maybe let's start there. So what is feedback supposed to be? Well, it's supposed to maybe correct a situation or to help others grow or to grow a skill, maybe to teach something, to a team that maybe this would have worked better in that situation. It's to improve a team. It's to correct and bring correction. What feedback is not is to humiliate somebody. It's not to belittle somebody. It's not to vent your frustration. That's what feedback is not. And so when we can get that right and understand what feedback is about, then maybe it's not such a bad thing. It does mean, though, that I need to be teachable. It does mean that I must be willing to learn from whoever. And it must mean that I'm willing to change if I need to change. So, being put on the spot, it will happen. But if you know you're going into a feedback session, prepare yourself mentally for it. Know that it's not going to be just easy. And tell yourself, self-talk, and say, I am not going to get upset. I am not going to react. I'm going to sit there and get my logical mind involved so that I can take the feedback. And so what do? We listen and really hear what is being said. Then we ask clarifying questions. Ask questions if you're unsure what this is about. I don't understand. Can you give me an example? Whether you agree or not, thank the person for their time, that they actually took the time to come and give you some feedback. Use your self-management skills to decide what you're going to do about it. Okay, your logical mind is on. You don't have your emotional mind there. It's your logical mind. And you say to yourself, okay, so what am I going to do about this feedback that I'm receiving? Don't be pressured to jump into action immediately. Take your time. Say thank you. Sort out your feelings and thoughts first, and then choose, as I said, emotional or reason. And then if you do need to change, then you start making plans on how you're going to do it better. All right. And in this way, we then don't feel that getting feedback from anybody is, such a big issue. We can deal with it. We can handle it. All right. Then number 6, build trust. Trust is something that we build up over time. You don't meet somebody and trust him. Even if somebody says, that's a great guy, go meet him. I'm not going to trust him. Trust is built up over time. But it takes 1 second to break trust. 1 second. And trust broken, it's a long process again to rebuild it. And this is the most important and most difficult objective to manage in any relationship. So we need to have open conversations, open communication, a willingness to share. As I said, if you open up, somebody will also open up towards you. If I'm prepared to share a little bit about myself, then somebody will also share a little bit about them, and you get to know one another. Be consistent with your words and your actions and your behavior over time. That is what builds trust. It's that over time thing, because it's with time that trust is built. And you are always reliable. And be the first one to lay some of yourself on the line. All right. Number 7, have an open door policy. Be accessible, not just to your friends, not just to the people you get along with. Be accessible to everyone. And then number 8, I love this one. Only get mad on purpose. We know that Jesus got mad, okay? But of course, he was perfect and he knew how to handle his anger. But if you manage anger properly and you use it purposefully, you can maybe get good results and actually build up a relationship. But that means that you know how to get angry at the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way. And that is a skill. But know what annoys you a little bit and what gets you really angry. That's important. What annoys you a little bit and what gets you really angry? But I think until we know the skill of what to do with that anger, I think for us is to really choose something else, is to really get your EQ involved and say, okay, I'm not going to show this anger. I am not going to scream and shout. I am going to use my self-awareness, think of the person and what my reaction is going to be to them. And then I will choose the right reaction in the moment. And so this is just some of the tips and some of the ways that we can then also build our relationships and manage our relationships with one another. Now, we're just going to have a little bit of fun together, and you can really choose whatever one you want. So we're going to do a multiple choice questionnaire, and then we'll just end off this session. So everybody get up on your feet, because you're going to walk. So we've got 4 corners. We've got 4 corners, A, B, C, and D. A, B, C, and D. And you're going to choose which one is going to be the one that you identify with, and you will go to the corner where you will fit in. So here are some questions. Your co-worker is visibly annoyed and says, I'm fine. What do you do? A, offer them chocolate. B, back away slowly and avoid eye contact. C, ask, on a scale of fine to flipping tables, how fine are you? Or D, send them a calendar invite for let's talk, emotional unpacking. Which one are you going to choose? A, offer them chocolate. B, back away slowly and avoid eye contact. C, ask on a scale of fine to flipping tables, how fine are you? Or D, send them a calendar invite, let's talk, emotionally unpacking. Wow. Nobody's going to give chocolate. You guys, you don't want to spend any money on anybody. Wow. Okay. All right. From there, you can move to your second one. Which of these is not a recommended conflict resolution strategy? Active listening, A. Open communication, B. Silent revenge planning, C. Or empathy? Which of these is not a recommended conflict resolution strategy? A. Active listening, B. Open communication, C. Silent revenge planning, and D. Empathy. What? That is open communication. Oh, silent revenge. Sorry, it's C. C. Mary, what are you doing there? Why? Why? Berry, you must come see me after this. Your teammate just gave a presentation and it flopped. What's the best supportive comment? Well, that was brave of you, number one. Well, that was a brave attempt. Number B, you didn't totally bomb. And number C, you tried your best and I admire that. And number D, next time, try interpretive dance instead. So you're just going to encourage them with, wow, that was a brave attempt. And you're going to say, sure, you didn't bomb. Berry, no. Berry, no. 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 Do you want them to dance now? Okay, Berry, you lead us out in an interpretive dance. All right. You're in a team meeting and someone won't stop interrupting. What do? A, you interrupt back louder. B, you build a Lego wall around your chair. C, you gently say, hey, let's make space for everyone's thoughts. And D, create an interrupt jar and charge them 10 Rand every time they interrupt. The financial guys will go, yeah, yes. You want to make money, fundraising. Interrupt louder. Okay, these guys are going to interrupt louder. I can see who they are, so I know that they're going to do that. Oh man, are you going to build Lego walls now? Okay, number 5. EQ is like a relationship GPS because number A, it reroutes when people start acting wild. Number B, it warns you before emotional crashes. Number C, it occasionally says recalculating. And number D, all of the above. So, it reroutes when people start acting wild. It warns you about before emotional crashes happen. It occasionally says recalculating or all of the above. All right. All of the above, I think that's correct. Number 6, Aldo? Number 6, which are the red flags in relationship management? A, taking accountability. B, avoiding hard conversations forever. C, giving clear feedback. Or D, saying, I understand your feelings and meaning it. A, taking accountability, avoiding hard conversations forever, giving clear feedback, saying, I understand your feelings. That's correct. That's correct. Oh, my word, Berry. I'm glad that you are able to take accountability, okay? It's a good skill to have. It's a good skill to have. But it is true, we are all human beings and we have to have hard conversations. We can't run away from it forever. Okay, number 7. You've accidentally double booked 2 co-workers for the same lunch meeting. What do? A, you host a surprise team bonding session. B, you pretend you never sent either an invite. C, you own up and apologize. Or D, you blame the calendar app and fake shock. Now you want to use that as a bonding. I think you've missed out. You need to do your bonding exercises in the office, not in a social event. And now you lying over there. Really? Okay, and that is the right one. You own up and apologize. Number 8, when someone gives you an instructive feedback, the best EQ-powered response is A, how dare you? B, thanks, I really appreciate that insight. C, cool story, now watch me ignore it. And D, okay, but have you considered you the problem?
We need to clarify whether this is something they would do or something they should do.
Well, I mean, at least these guys say that they're prepared to kind of enter into a conflict situation. This one is okay, but do you realize that you're the problem? All right, so at least these guys are honest, okay? They're going to confront somebody. All right, and the last one. The secret sauce to healthy relationships at work is A, free snacks, B, shared suffering during a budget meeting, C, emotional intelligence, or D, knowing when to mute yourself when you're on a Zoom meeting. Free snacks, shared suffering during a budget meeting, emotional intelligence, or knowing when to mute yourself in a Zoom meeting. Free snacks, guys, really. Really? Free snacks? And when the snacks are up, what then? What do you do when those snacks are all gone and eaten up? Gerard. So you're just going to mute yourself. Close your door. Now that's Ingrid. Ingrid, she just closes her door. You walk past that door, you're actually too scared to open that door. Thank you, people. Thanks for your fun. All right, this last one is really an exercise that I want you to go and do at some point, but soon after the training. You're not going to do it in class, but I will just run you through it and give you some understanding of what you should be doing. But really take some time and go and assess yourself and put down some goals and strategies for yourself where you feel that maybe you are not that good at this particular thing. These are just tips on how you can better your EQ. Greeting people by name. Now that to me is like a foreign language. It's like Greek. Because I am so bad at remembering people's names. And I wish I was better. And if you know a trick that I can use to memorize people's names, and don't tell me to associate them with animals, because next time I meet them, I'm probably going to call them piggy or doggy or something. I'm that bad. That's not going to go well with anyone. But I need to understand how to memorize names. I really am that bad. But you know what? There's somebody that came, I was introduced to this person just once. Months later, he came up to me and he said, "Hi, Deirdre. Do you know, I still think that guy is the best thing since sliced bread." He made such an impression on me because he had met me once, and months later he remembered my name. And I even said to him, "How do you even do that?" You know, and he had a whole explanation of how he does it. But it's such an important thing for people when we remember their names. Number 2, watch body language. If you're not good with body language, facial expressions. Man, some of us are bad. Really. Like if you're a public speaker, like if you lecture, you're a public speaker, you watch people's facial expressions and you know, man, these guys have no idea how to engage, you know? And so that's why when you are a public speaker, they'll always tell you, find that 1 or 2 people in the audience that you can relate with. And there's normally just 1 or 2. The rest of the people are like, and it's like, are they angry at me, you know? But we don't understand that our facial expressions in a meeting is something that people take a cue on. And you might not feel angry, but you look angry. So how can you get that right? Make timing everything. And we talked about a little bit on being on time, but that's not really what this is about. This is really about the timing in responding, the timing in saying something or not saying something, the timing in when will be the best time to go and speak to somebody about something, all right? Get your timing right. Develop your back pocket question. Remember I said your back pocket question is, go and think through the last bad conversation you had. And then you ask yourself, what would I have done differently? What could I have done differently? And that exact thing that you could have done differently is your back pocket question. That's what you put in your back pocket, because the next time you're in a conversation like that where you know it's going to go south, you now know what set you off the last time and what you should do differently. Don't take notes in meetings. Now, I want to clarify this. I am the first one to say, take minutes. It's so important, people, because a week after a meeting, nobody remembers what was said in that meeting. We have too much on our plates. It's not like we've been thinking about that meeting a week down the line. We have to take minutes. But if you are supposed to be an active participant in the meeting, you cannot take minutes. You cannot be writing down, because what? You're going to miss all the cues in the meeting. You're going to miss all the unspoken communication. Then rather get somebody from the outside, an objective person, somebody that can take minutes, somebody that you can trust to come and sit, and they're only there to take minutes. Or what we do is record it. We all have phones. Record the meeting. And you can in any case then send everybody a copy of that recording. So then they have the minutes. But if you want to be on cue, if you want to understand what's happening in the meeting, you cannot be the one taking the minutes. Don't write down. Rely on the recording that you're going to receive. But be in the meeting. Observe. Talk with your eyes. Talk with your face. So that you know exactly, not just the words that are said, but the meanings behind the words. Plan ahead for social gatherings. Even a social gathering can become stressful. Oh, I forgot to go and pick that up. Oh, I should have done that. And immediately there's a stress element that comes in, and we all react badly on stress. Clear away the clutter. We don't want clutter. Clutter is just bad. Live in the moment. Again, to be able to listen. Remember? Listen. Live in the moment. You know, we get so busy. Our spouses, our children, our friends need us now. Not in 6 months' time. Not next year. They need us now. They need us present, in the moment. And so, live in the moment. Cherish those friendships. Make time for one another. Listen. Do your count to 10, that little pause. Count to 10. Take a breath. Go for a tea. Go whatever. That's take that count to 10. And write down, what is it going to take for you? Maybe you a real shy person, and it's going to be very hard for you to in the moment say, guys, can I just quickly go for go get myself some water? That is a strategy. That is a goal that you need to set for yourself. If it's not natural for you to interrupt and say, guys, can I just take a break? But you have the right to do that. You have the right to do that. Watch EQs at the movies. I don't know if people still go to the movies. I can't remember when last I've been to the movies. But if you do go to the movies, watch EQ. Practice the art of listening. Go people watching. So practice the art of listening is a key one, hey? We don't all do that well. I can walk past somebody and I can see they're very good at listening skills. They will not, a bomb can go off there and they'll still be watching this person talking to them. They just don't get sidetracked by people walking past, children screaming. They can listen. And sometimes we need to practice that because we can easily get distracted. Go people watching, as I said, go to a restaurant, start chatting around. What do you see in the restaurant? Revisit your values. We often have to do that though. If your emotions are not in line with your values, your Christian values, what you want to see in yourself, write that down. I will not. Test for accuracy. We so easily make a little statement in a meeting, but the statement comes from something you've heard somewhere. And you're not even sure if it's accurate, but you've heard it sometime, like a week ago somebody said something. And now you drop it in a meeting. You know what it's going to do to that meeting? At least half the meeting is going to take that as being accurate. But you haven't even tested that it's accurate. Test for accuracy. Before you drop a little bombshell in a meeting, make sure that it is true. Step into somebody else's shoes, that's your empathy. Seek the whole picture. Remember, in this team, there are that many sides of the story. In that team, there's as many sides of the story as in that team. And if we don't understand where other people are coming from, if we don't understand their side of the story, we won't have the big picture. We won't have the whole picture. And so we will be making judgments on one side of the story. And then catch the mood in the room, and that's where we want to be clued up on people's, body language, facial expressions, etc., etc. And that's also a skill that we have to learn. And that brings me to the end of the EQ presentation. And I really hope that, not only will you walk away and think that was interesting, but that you would go and practice, that you would go and get yourself to a place where you grow in the different aspects of EQ, where you feel that you were, not as good in your test. And because really, as I said before, when I started off, it's the people with the high EQs that get ahead in the workplace. It's the people with the high EQs that get ahead in their social life. And I do want to just quickly say something because I was really a little bit perturbed. You can have a high IQ and a high EQ. Okay, it's not. I made it sound like if you have an high IQ, you can't have an high EQ. You can have both. All right. But really, let's grow in our EQ. Let's build team. Let's move Acts Church forward. And always remember, Jesus is there to help us. All right. And we can always pray. Always ask him for help. Okay. Thank you so much for your attention. Have a great day further.